Yeah, they got the energy, they got the power. And I love to see them ministry, not a performance, they ministry. They put their heart and love into what they do, and they show it to encourage us that they, when the time comes, they will think back and remember that I'm moving. So really, that we need to get on board and get moving. Amen. Get on board and get moving. Amen. I just thank God for our leaders in the house. I just thank God for our people to the members of the church, and good to see it. Sister Deborah back in the house of God. So swollen, but I couldn't do nothing else. But I had my own nurse, Dr. New, back to life. Amen. My job was the last time I did on time. But I do wear what they call compression socks to prevent that from happening. And whatnot, it was just painful. But I'm healed in Jesus' name. Amen. Because I was speaking the word over, I said, this cannot be happening to me. This is not going to happen to me. And you got to mean what you say and say what you mean. I mean, one thing is to teach and preach the word of God, but you got to apply what you're teaching and preaching. And so people can see the evidence that this is real. This is not no fake. This is real. This is proof of the word of God that it works if you work it.
Yes, it will.
Amen. So I was talking to God, and, I like the relationship that God and we had. We talk. You talk to him, you talk to me. Listen, sometimes God, he puts you on pause. That's a God, hey, you there? But he was saying to me, let the message be above all else, sink or swim. Above all else, sink or swim. And we're going to Matthew chapter 14, and we're going to begin at verse 22. And your Bible's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be coming from the NIV version. If you allow me, let me get back into the Spirit and let the Lord have his way. Eternal Heavenly Father, we truly thank you for this day. We pray, Heavenly Father, that the word will forth, let it fall on this soul and good ground, let it produce in the lives of your people. Lift up our head, mend broken heart, restore your people. Heal where healing needs to take place. In the name of Jesus, bind the enemy on every hand. They're trying to hinder, they're trying to stand in the way of this message. We pray, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus Christ. And then and only then shall we see manifestation of your word taking place in the life of your people. To God be the glory both now and forever. As we ask in Jesus' name. Thank God and amen. As the word of God reads in Matthew chapter 14, verse 22 in the NIV, I will be reading. It says, immediately Jesus made the disciples to get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side. While he dismissed the crowd, after he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone. And the boat was already a considerable distance from land. All right? Buffeted by the wind because the wind was against it. Shortly after dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid. Lord, if it is you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. he said. Then Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. Cried out, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshiped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Amen. Before I get started, I believe God had prepared me for something. I didn't even know what it was about. But I know things that the enemy was trying to distract and bring some chaos in here. So I'm going to read what I wrote down. And it's that because the enemy likes to use our mind as a playground. But one of the things I was writing, I didn't know why I was writing, but I was just writing. It says, one thing that the enemy loves is to target in our mind. It's our minds. He likes to target our minds. He's not so much worried about the heart. If he can get into your mind, he believes he can have a field day. We have to remind the enemy, you're not welcome here. I don't recall sending you an invitation or rolling out the red carpet for you. My mind would not be used as a parking lot or a playground where you can come and go and play as you please. Huh? And it tells me you are a hindering spirit. That's what he is. He's a hindering spirit. Messing with the minds of God's people. You don't put out a welcome mat for him. You don't sit out a plate with him. You don't eat here. You don't sleep here. You don't dine here. This is not your place here. I didn't send out an invitation for you, so therefore you tell the enemy, you put the enemy in his place. Because if you don't put the enemy in his place, he's going to put you in your place. And my place is a place with God where I have control and I have the authority. So though I decided that I am not going to sink today, you got to make up your mind before you leave out here. I decided that I'm not going to sink today. I'm going to swim because God made me to be the head and not the tail. He made me to be above and not beneath. He made me to be a lender and not a borrower because I made up in my mind I'm not going to sink today or any other day. Amen. That's just the way it is. Once you make up in your mind, somebody say mind. Not someone else making up your mind, but you make up in your own mind. Not somebody else making it up for you. But you have to make up in your own mind. Somebody say mind. I will rise above it. And the one way is to rise above it is that you have got to get out of your boat. Come on, somebody. Let me say it again, because some people out there sleeping out there. It says, and the one way to rise above it is that you have got to get out of your boat. You got to, one way to get out of your boat is you got to stop complaining. Stop having a pity party. Stop being self-centered. Stop putting yourself down with negative, selfish talk, low self-esteem, lying, and stop being conniving. Come on, somebody. Come, I'm talking, I'm just speaking, I'm preaching. But if that's you, God says, stop it. Huh? These things is what keep us in the boat, preventing us from doing what others are afraid to do. Come on, somebody. Okay. We coming. Keep saying that, God and I, we coming. Faith works. Not while you're in the boat, it works while you step out of the boat. Faith works it don't work while you are still in the boat. It only only works when you're outside of the boat. Changes only happen when you release what God has put or placed inside of you. Come on, somebody. Romans 12:3 says, God had dealt to every man the measure of faith. So when you are in control and you know it. Why? Because you are in control. But when you are not in control, something or someone else is in control. Fear. Don't let fear drive you, but don't ignore it either.
That's good. That's good.
Let me say that one more time, just in case somebody may be sleeping. Or look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you need to wake up. And you need to hear this. Don't let fear drive you, but don't ignore it either. Don't allow people to keep you from moving to the next chapter of your life. Stop letting them sit in your seat. You're the driver of your own life. Don't let anyone steal your seat.
Amen.
Y'all remember back in the day how y'all used to go to football games and basketball games, and you used to have to purchase a ticket. Now on that ticket, they tell you where you can sit at on the ticket. I'm in G18. I'm in F5. So therefore, when you go and get your ticket and you go to your seat, if somebody's sitting in your seat, I'm saying, I'm sorry, this is my seat. My ticket said G5. This is G5. I paid for this seat. I have authority for this seat because it's my seat. I paid for it. Only thing they can do is say, excuse me, I'm sorry, get up and let me have my seat. Right? Because it's my seat. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, get out of my seat. No, that's the natural way, but in the spiritual way, the enemy have taken over some of your seats.
Amen. Amen.
Now, don't look at it naturally, but look at it in a spiritual sense that the enemy have taken over some of y'all seats. Because if you're in control, you know that you're in control. When you're not in control, somebody is sitting in your seat. Look at your neighbor against the neighbor. Did you hear what I said? Get up. Out of my seat. I want to talk to you about 5 things. And then I'm going to be out of here. I want to talk to you about 5 ways to stop giving negative people too much power in your life. Come on, somebody. Come on. 5 things. Number 1, guard your time. Negative people can monopolize your time even when they're not with you if you're not careful. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Huh? Don't allow negative people to steal your seat. Your time and energy take back your power by limiting the amount of time you spend talking about things about and worrying about unpleasant people. In other words, my time is precious.
Yes.
I don't have time for foolishness. Because you spend more time listening to negative people because they don't have nothing else better to do. And wasting your time while you sitting there listening to it. Huh? Come on, somebody. Huh? In other words, Peter wasn't the only one in the boat. Wait a minute.
That's true.
Wait a minute. Go ahead. In other words, Peter wasn't the only one in the boat. When you read this chapter, this story, God always gives you more insight about the story, about the disciples, about Peter walking on water. It wasn't that Peter wanted to go out to Jesus on the water. It was that in the boat, you got negative people always trying to prevent you from doing what they cannot do. Wait a minute. We going somewhere. In other words, you got to get out of the boat around negative people.
All right.
Stop letting people tell you what you can and cannot do.
Amen.
Amen.
Wait a minute now.
Amen.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Just because you can't do it, it doesn't mean that I can't do it.
That's right.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Some folks are just like that. They are intimidated. They know that you can do it, but they don't want to see you do it. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. So therefore, they got to bring distraction, detour you another way. Lord help me. Help somebody. This is for me. I don't know about you, but this is for me. Somebody always want to bring distraction to detour you in another direction. Preventing you from doing what you really supposed to be doing.
That's right.
If you know you're going to be a doctor, what's stopping you from being a doctor? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If you know you're going to be a nurse, what's preventing you from being a nurse? Really, can't nobody stop you but
You.
come on, somebody. So in other words, in the next thing I want to bring to a point is choose your attitude. Number 2. Choose your attitude. Spending time with negative people can be the fastest way to ruin a good mood. We're going somewhere today. We're going to break this spirit today. Let me say it one more time. Number 2 is choose your attitude. Come on, somebody. Spending time with negative people can be the fastest way to ruin your good mood. I come in you in a good mood, ready to praise the Lord, and then all of a sudden here comes somebody negative. They'll ruin your mood. Now what got you in a bad mood? You was in a good mood. Feeling good, your hair all dyed up, feeling good in the spirit, ready to go praise the Lord. Then all of a sudden here comes somebody negative. Huh? What changed you from good to bad? Huh? I thought you was in control. You let somebody negative come in and change your mood swing. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. The prodigal son in Luke 15:11 is a prime example. From the palace to a boat. We all know the story about the prodigal son. That he left home and went out and spent all that he had. The thing is that about the prodigal son is, I'm going to stay positive. Today, I got to stay positive. Because you got to put yourself in a position where you have to stay positive. Which brings me to number 3 is refocus. Not focus, but refocus your thoughts. Huh? Refocus your thoughts. In other words, got to get myself together. The prodigal son had to refocus something. I had it better where I was in the palace with mom and dad. Friends gone, money gone, and I look a mess. Why? All because I spend my time around negative people. Which brings me to number 4. Choose to behave prospectively. Choose to behave productively. Decide that you're going to be in control of your emotion so that your emotions don't control you. Wait a minute, let me see. Decide that you're going to be in control of your emotions so that your emotions don't control you. Behave productive in spite of your circumstances. Your circumstances only change by faith, not by emotions. You can kick and scream and boo-hoo and cry, but that's not going to change anything. It's by faith is what changes your circumstances and your situation. Faith is what changes everything. Faith is what fixes things. Because 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, for we walk by faith and not by sight. Because if I can see it, why would I pray and ask God about it? When I can just go right to, when I can't see it, I would have to still walk by faith. Come on, somebody. Which brings me to number 5. Seek out positive people. Seek out positive people. Be with positive people as often as possible. Be with positive people as often as possible. Speak positive. Have an attitude of expectancy. Have an attitude of expectancy. How is your attitude? Come on, somebody. Have an attitude of an expectancy. Expecting it's going to happen. What are you saying? What are you believing? You can only speak by what you believe. Negative, how we think is how we talk. Let me help you. Let me help you. How you think is how you talk. Yeah, I don't know why you think you can get there on the wages that you making. That's not your concern. That's between me and the God that I serve. If God said I can have it, who do you say that I can't have it? Come on, somebody. Come on. Have an expectancy. I believe that I can have what I say. Because my thought is there, my heart is there, so I need to start speaking what I think and what I believe. Let me get a little bit further. Let me get a little bit further. Some of y'all just. In other words, let me help you. Let me help me and let me help you. I ask God help me so I can help them, because if you don't help me, I can't help them. So therefore, it says, have an attitude of an expectancy. Take control of what you can. Stop worrying about what you can't. Can I help you right there? Can I say again? Have an attitude of expectancy. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, you need to change your attitude. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. I'm going to take my time with this because we got to get, we behind. I've said in my spirit, I'm behind. And we got to play catch up. Have an expectancy. What are you expecting this year? Come on, somebody. What are you believing this year? Day in and day out. We sit on the pew, we say I'm happy, and then yet you got to put faith behind what you're saying. Faith without works is dead. So that therefore you have got to have an expectancy. Take control. Who's driving the wheel? You or someone else? It tells us if you're in control. Because it tells us who's behind the wheel. And the person whoever's behind the wheel is in control. Let me help you. Stop worrying. Oh man, we some worried folks, and we do that. We worry about what we gonna eat. Some of y'all worrying right about now. You can't get through this message because you worrying about what you gonna eat before you get out here. Here I ain't cooked nothing. Shoot. What I'm gonna eat? Well, I'm gonna tell you what you need to eat right. Start right here. Eat this right here. This is good spiritual food. It's gonna help you. And by the time you get out the door, God done already fixed what you can already have your favorite food ready and play it on the table before you get home. He'll tell you to stop by here, stop by Kroger, stop by Walmart. God will lead and guide you. Let God order your steps, baby. Have an expectancy that God, I know you can already make a way out of no way. Why am I tripping? Why am I worried? I didn't take this out of my hand and put it in your hand because I know that you're going to take care of me. You have always taken care of me. Why am I worried about it now? Have an expectancy. Come on, somebody. Wait a minute, I'm almost through. I'm going to have you. Wait a minute. I'm going to hit you home here in a minute. I'm going to hit you home. Stop wasting time worrying and become more effective. Stop wasting time worrying and become more effective. This ain't me, this is God. I had to jot this stuff down because I take this in for myself. And I can guarantee you, I have tried it and I have seen myself grow, Pastor, in the spirit that I rub stuff off. I learned, back in the day, I was ignorant, Pastor, because I didn't know better. I wasted foolish time. Could have been way ahead of time. Better than where I am now. I think I'm better now, but I'm getting better. Wasted foolish time hanging around foolish people. If they ain't going nowhere, you ain't going to go nowhere. Amen. Come on, somebody. Hang around negative people, ain't doing nothing. When I was in school, negative plus negative equals what? Negative. How can you get a positive out of negative? Come on, somebody. Huh? Come on, somebody. Wasted, Pastor. I wasted time. When I look back on my life, I wasted time. I said, I'm sitting back, man, why I wasted all this time? I wish I could have, should have done better, but I thank God I'm alive, I'm doing better, but I wasted time. I can't go back and grasp back time. I got to do what I got to do now while there is time. Amen. Come on, somebody. Wait a minute. This is going to hit you right here. I hope it does. If it don't, well, I'm going to hit you. Identify the positive people in your life. Woo! That, I mean, you get them to do the walk tissy right there. Identify positive people in your life. The way you can point out positive people is they stay within their character. They don't get out of their character. Everything else can be falling and crumbling around them, but yet they say, this too shall pass. You don't ever see them panic or worry. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. A positive person stays within their character because they think positive and they speak positive and they believe. When you hang around positive people, it rubs off on you. Amen. Anytime you hang around a negative person, it rubs off on you. Who are you hanging around? Because the evidence will show up if you hang around a positive person. Because when you say, girl, they gonna foreclose your house. Okay, darling, just give me a number. That's right. Come on, son. Let me help you with something. Let me help you with something. And my wife would testify to this. They repo my car some years back. Remember that old Ford? The initials fix and repair daily. It was a limit anyway. They came and got it. You remember that? Years ago. Okay. My dad came. I was embarrassed because my dad came to visit me that day. He says, "It's all right?" I said, "Yeah, it's all right, Dad. It's all right." I didn't boo-hoo. I didn't fall out of character. Because you don't fall out of character when you know who you are and whose you are. Some people fall out of character and forget about who they are and whose they are, Pastor. I was embarrassed that my dad came at the same time that they came. The repo man came too. But I maintained my cool. Sometimes you just got to maintain your cool. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I just maintained my cool. I was hurting on the inside, but boy wasn't showing it up on the outside. Because I was telling her, it's all good, Dad. It's all good. It's a car. God give me another one. Showing up, it happened. Why? Because I didn't fall out of character. I stayed within my character. I stayed within my belief. God, you took it. It was really a piece of living anyway, but it was a start to get me going. Sometimes God got to move stuff out of the way to bring in the best. Up in here, you're trying to hold on to stuff. God trying to get rid of the stuff. Look at your neighbor. Get rid of it. Stop holding on to stuff. Look, I'm finna hit you real good here. If the man don't want you, baby, if he don't want you, I'm finna hit you home here. If he don't put a ring on it, stop all this mess. Girl, he's fine. What's fine about him? You looking on the outside, you ain't know what's going on the inside. Come on, somebody. We gotta get past this. You trying to hold on to stuff, and God trying to get him out the way. Lord have mercy. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Identify positive people in your life. You cannot become more effective. I'm going to say that again. You cannot become more effective by worrying, because you're putting all your energy and time into worrying. It's difficult to look on the bright side when you're surrounded by negativity. It is hard to look on the bright side when you're constantly surrounded by negative people. Come here, brother. Come here, brother. God bless you, brother. God bless you for you. Come here, Pastor, for a second. This is you in the middle. Hit negative and negative. Talking down to me. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I can do that. And nobody around me speaking positive to me. This is all day long in my ear. Negative plus negative. Negative plus negative. This is why some of the people in the church can't grow, because you spend your time around negative plus negative. Negative plus negative. He's in my right ear and he's in my left. That's all I hear all day long. Negative. You can't do it. You can't make it. I don't know why you're wasting your time. You're wasting time.
Yes.
If you're in control of the wheel, tell negative, you have no authority here. Tell negative, you have no power here. What we need to do is take back what God has given us. You have no business giving the devil that much credit and that much power. They don't belong to him. Let me help you with something. God said, behold, I give unto you power. Come on, somebody. You are operating somewhere else. You're not operating in the power of God. Because if you want, you take back what belongs to you. Come on, somebody. Make me mad now. You got my spirit all stirred up. You shouldn't have done that. Now I'm really mad. Wait a minute. I see increase. I'm finna bring it to the close. I see increase. It's hard for some of y'all to say that when you got negative all around you. Because I see increase. You have to start saying what you heard so you can see what you said. If you don't say nothing, you're not going to see nothing. start speaking to your money. You're going to do what I say do. Come on, somebody. Let me help you with something. You remember when it was storming? I made my wife and I a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee. I drink it when I'm cold. So I made her some coffee. She's still laying out stretched out. And I went in. I said, baby, you want some coffee? No, not right now. I said, okay. So I was sitting there drinking my little coffee, having a good time with my wife, drinking coffee. And that storm's coming down bad. You know what I said, Pastor? It's getting ready to act a fool. You know what I said? Why did you say that? Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Sometimes it takes somebody else to invite you back to reality of who you are. Because you ain't got no business. A child of God ain't got no business talking like that. We don't talk negative, we talk positive. No, Storm, you're going to pass on over. You're not going to lay here, you're not going to sleep here. You're going to go home about your business and leave well enough alone here. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Thank you, baby, for correcting me. Because I know better. It's getting ready to act a fool. But I hurry up and corrected it. I said, no, you're not. I heard him. I said, Lord, forgive me. But no, it's not. Because you're giving me the power. And I got to operate in the power. Come on, somebody. In other words, there's no limit that you can do through Jesus Christ who strengthens you. Sister, play that song for me. I want you to stand to your feet. God is speaking.